Yeah, and I know we like to joke around and have a more upbeat vibe here on this channel, and we love that in our comment section. But there is like a serious situation going on. But we have good news and update on Damar Hamlin. He's awake. He's like mentally. They said like mentally he's all there. He's looking good, and he's actually responding by writing notes. And he was concerned about who won the game, so good signs from that. It's a scary situation. Uh, how are you feeling like the NFL has handled that and like everything surrounding the situation, like what's been going on?
Oh, definitely. It was one of those things that it felt like the entire world was watching, like, and everyone collectively took that like what is going on moment. I know, like, for my household, it was like we were making dinner. It was like, stop, wait, something's going on with this game. And then it was like, oh damn, like this is really what's happening. As far as the NFL obviously could have handled things a lot better, but I mean, they are on a national stage, it's a national game. Everyone could say what they would have done in that situation. I think they should have called the game a little bit, sooner than what they did. But I mean, I'm sure they were talking to both sides of the teams and seeing like, hey, this is going to be the next step moving forward before relaying any concrete, plan for that game. As far as special shout out to like all the medical staffs involved. They were able to really swoop in there and take really good care of Damar Hamlin. I was actually watching Peter King, and Peter King said that it was like the perfect storm of, hey, the right medical staff did the right thing. They were in the right stadium because there was a hospital 2 miles away from the stadium. So everything just worked out perfect to where they were able to save Damar Hamlin. And so big shout out to them.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see like how everyone's came together. I think Damar's gotten like 6.5 million in donations to his charity. So we'll put that link in the description if you feel like you want to do more to help out for this guy. Apparently he's a great guy. He's always been like trying to put Pittsburgh on, really invested in his community, and like I said, he's been doing that charity for a long time. Something really cool I saw is the Saints and Pelicans provided defibrillators to local recreational facilities. So like if this situation were to happen, at the high school level, at the like any regular level that wasn't NFL, it's a very scary situation because they don't have the equipment. I know for me, not to get too much into it, who was an athlete and like did have heart issues, like they told me I could have collapsed on the field and like I would have been screwed because they don't have those type of equipment in like high school or like those random schools we were competing in. And situations like this where it did happen, it is important. I seen that there's teams around the league, specifically the 49ers I saw are providing clinicians for the players and their families, because when you see a coworker go down doing the job that you do, it could really affect your mental health. So how do you think the 49ers have been like handling this and like really trying to support their families and their own players?
Yeah, I mean, I think one, like all the teams have done a really good job. I know that everyone has donated. I know that they've all switched over their profile picture to pray for Hamlin. So everyone is really just kind of collectively. It is like both a large community, but also a small community as far as the NFL goes. So it's been really nice to see them really pull together and show that brotherhood. The 49ers do, like, honestly, that's a really good job of them to not only show support for the players, but the players' families. Like, think about it. This was a play that it was a tackle that happens almost every game. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that was a like, oh, he did this crazy helicopter flip and then like fell weird. No, it was a like almost a like, how they're teaching people to do like the rugby tackle now, where you, instead of going head on, you go to the side and then you take them down with you. That's what it was. It was more of like that rugby style tackle. And that happens quite often. And this incident, it was a freak occurrence, but it could happen to anyone. And so it does make you think like, what, like if I was a player, I'd be like, what if it was me? What if I was like, if my husband was an NFL player, I would be thinking like, what if it was them? So yeah, like of course, if you're given this opportunity to have help and better deal with things, you should always take that opportunity. Like, um, one thing that I've heard a lot is mental health is it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So good on the like 49ers organization to allow people to take that responsibility and their mental health serious.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're actually utilizing it, and it is scary. Like I see people on Twitter like when Pro Football Talks tweeting about like, oh, they're really the NFL is making sure that everyone's mental health like is supported right now. And people under the dudely dudes, these manly men are over here like, oh, society's soft. Oh, like we're a fragile world now. Like I would like to see you go to your 9 to 5 job and watch your coworker almost die and then go the next day to work and try to do that job. Like you don't think any part of you would be scared that, hey, that could be me, and like then amp it to times 1,000 because these guys are going out here and they have to move full speed. They have to have these collisions. It's a physical sport, and yeah, they've done a lot to like tone that down. But at the same time, what makes this even scarier to me is it was a routine play. Like if this was a huge like collision crash, like targeting, spearing with the helmet, people would probably be like, "Oh, like yeah, that could happen," but like we're really trying to tone that down. The fact that it was just a routine every day, happens like hundreds of times a game, like that really can affect you when it's so mundane like that, because it's like, hey, that can really happen at any moment to any of us.
T. Higgins,
Yes,
like,
yeah.
so that's one thing. Like, I really hope, like, now that Damar Hamlin's okay, T. Higgins can really take a step back and be like, it really wasn't my fault. I know Damar Hamlin's dad had come out and said, like, T, you have nothing to like worry about. This wasn't on you. This was like a freak accident. But for who is it, Bart Scott, to go on national TV and try to blame T. Higgins for this, that was pretty much bullshit, dude. So
Yeah, fuck Bart
I'm
Scott,
glad that,
fuck Skip Bayless.
yeah, that was ridiculous. So like some people just really need to check what they're saying at some point.
Like there's times because like these characters on sports media that want to be the contrarian and they want to have the hot takes and say something absurd to like that's how they build their platform. But there's a time and place. Like this was not the time to be like, well, no one's talking about this, so I should jump in. I'm Bart Scott. Here's a dumb take. Like read the room. No one's talking about like the game. No one's talking about T. Higgins in that way because it's not the right thing to do. Like I saw a clip today where T. Higgins had to return to practice and he had to like stop before he got on the field and like really collect himself. Like you could, these guys aren't trying to like kill you and hurt each other. They're coworkers. Yeah, they're trying to win and they're trying to put a product on the field, but they're really not trying to like like ruin someone's life. So and they're regular people, man. At the end of the day,
Yeah, and I think you've seen it on the field, like when that did happen, both Bengals and Bills players were like had each other in each other's arms. So, I mean, it goes to show you at the end of the day, like you kind of drop all that stuff, like the teams, the rivalries, things like that, when something, bigger than football happens. And so I hope moving forward that it really does show people like go watch fucking Hard Knocks. Go watch any behind the scenes like footage of these guys, and you will see what true freak athletes they are and just how tough these dudes are. It's crazy. As like, so I was watching this season of Hard Knocks, and the Cardinals straight up suck. They're ass. Like we all can acknowledge that they suck. They did not have a good year. But even them, they have guys that are tough as nails. JJ Watt had a heart problem and needed his heart reset. Kelvin Beachum in one episode passes out during a team meeting, goes, lays down at the trainers for like an hour, then comes back and is like, I'm good to practice. Let's go. So, like, all of these teams, even if they are bad teams, every single dude on this is like the 1% of the 1% of athletes. So, we need to respect that.
that's what these guys are, crazy athletes, but they are real people at the end of the day too. And so to see everyone come together, the whole league, opposed to like Bart Scott and like Skip saying they should keep playing. Those few people on Twitter who are like kind of trying to dismiss this, like, hey, there's a game to play, let's get going. It's good to see like all the rest of the people, the majority, really come together in this moment.
Yeah.
And we're hoping Damar continues to get better. I know he's awake, he's responsive, but his lungs are still building strength, they're saying. So hopefully in this next week we'll get some better news. And yeah, you guys check the link in the description for his charity, and you guys can donate if you feel you want to.
Take it easy.
Cool.